I know. Yeah, 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 baby. And now we wait for them to show up. We wait for them to arrive. Wait for them to come in and announce themselves. We give it time for them to breathe life into the conversation that we're going to have this evening. And I'm gonna be real with y'all, I'm not in the mood to have, bruh, but we gotta talk about it because it's new Nintendo content. And it's gaming content that gets people freaking excited. It gets the people going. Nintendo just launched the console and they feel like the only one in the big three playing. Trying. Oh boy, it's fucking time. Whoa, boy, it's fucking time. Yeah. Whoa, boy, it's fucking time. Whoa, yo, it's fucking time. Yo, whoa, oh, it's fucking time. Whoa, it's fucking time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there's still people showing up, but we're gonna have to go through it, y'all. I'm not necessarily excited about it. I'm gonna be real with you. It's Friday. It's been a long week. I'm low key tired as fuck, and I want to go pass out. I have not heard the new JID album. I think I've heard a couple. I think I've heard like some of the pre-release songs, but no, I haven't actually heard the album. So let's go pull up every announcement we got in terms of recapping to give us some general information of things we will and may or may not care about. Because there are things to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. We got 60 minutes, and I'm going to talk about things I liked and things I didn't like, and then we'll kind of go through it, and you guys can chime in with your thoughts and feelings on the various announcements we got, because some of it's absolutely amazing, and some of it was cool. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll all the way back to the beginning, so I have a basis of starting, because if I don't, it's gonna be a problem. Also, because today also had a couple of announcements that kind of threw people off, because it wasn't in the direct, but it was relevant to the direct. It's kind of weird. We'll get into it. I'm trying to get to the very beginning of this so I can properly discuss it, because there's a lot of content I'm going through. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the nitty gritty of it all. If the stream is running fine. B tier is about where I'm leaning to. Let's get into the specifics. Why would it say or not say that? Okay. Just because I think it would help. So, starting out the direct, essentially the first 15 to 20 minutes was Mario related, right? And of course, Mario 40th anniversary, we kind of expected it to be Mario related. So as we go through the titles, the first thing is, oh, cool. There's like a metal display for Switch Online members. Okay, that's new. I don't know if that was mentioned. I guess the first thing that was in the direct was the Mario movie. The fact that it's called Mario Galaxy. I don't know how in love I am with that, because Mario Galaxy is a pretty huge step up from going from like just OG Mario origin story. And on top of that, what made it worse is that this title was essentially leaked. Like the day, was it like a day or two before I saw that name floating around? Like, oh, it might have been leaked, but and it seems like it absolutely wasn't leaked. So the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I'm not against it. I'm curious that they're showing off Rosalina. But Miyamoto did say something to the effect that even though this is something for Mario fans, there will be surprises in here to even Mario fans, which makes me wonder, well, are you just going to do Mario Galaxy, or is there going to be some variation here that we don't know about? So, kind of just depends. From what I saw, and we didn't see a lot, but just to give us a baseline, it's worth getting excited about. Don't ever get it twisted. And I'm glad to see, I'm assuming we'll probably see another trailer or two, probably either late this year or early next year. Because if it comes out in spring, it comes out in April, that means more than likely, what's up, Android? More than likely we'll get Mario Galaxy. That means we got to get at least two, I'm thinking 2 or 3 more trailers. Like a proper full trailer, then a second trailer, and then maybe like a launch trailer. So I'm imagining we'll get one more, and probably we'll get a full trailer in like December. We'll get like a second trailer like in maybe February, and then maybe a launch trailer like the one you would play as a TV spot for when you want to go to the movie, or like when you're promoting it for the movies, and go from there. So Mario Galaxy movie, perfectly cool. No real issues, about what I expected. Let's fucking go. Then let's go to, I think, my least favorite part of the whole direct. And some of you will probably know why for a couple of different reasons. So first thing is fucking Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 collection. This is a little weird considering Mario Galaxy is also part of that 3D Mario All-Stars collection we got a couple of years ago. So Galaxy 1 has now been ported twice. And as being ported twice, also, what's up, Donnie? I don't know. I think I'm leaning towards like a B. C- isn't crazy to me, but I say more of a B. B- if it really, I think it's the closest to me, the fairest thing you could say. But we're going to talk about it. The Galaxy Bundle, all I see on Twitter right now is people bitching about the Galaxy Bundle price. And I'm like, bro, you can just get them separate. So here's my thing with the Galaxy. First off, they spent too much time on Galaxy. And when I say that is, go back and watch the direct. They show us damn near an old school trailer for a game that's been out for years. At this point, over a decade, maybe going into 2 decades. Is when Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 have been out for. And they just kept showing it. I'm like, bro, it's like been almost 3 minutes at this point. Why am I still seeing Galaxy stuff on the stream? Like, what? So I don't like the way it was shown off. Like, nobody knows what fucking Galaxy is. The Galaxy, so that was my first problem. Second off, I'm gonna be real with you, that $70 price tag is gonna be rough. It's going to be rough for the obvious reason that you're charging essentially $35 a game, which, knowing them, to make the bundle more appealing, I bet you both of these games will be $40 a piece when it comes to getting them separately to make the 70 come off as a better deal. I'm going to be real with you, that's a hard sell considering originally you were selling Galaxy 1 by itself for, technically if you were looking at the 3-tier thing, which was 64 Sunshine and then Galaxy 1, that was being sold for 60, that would imply that like that game was worth $20. So how did that game go from 20 to potentially $35 to $40 since it was $40 a piece? Well, that's what I'm saying. My point is that they're trying to make it to the other, and then the last problem I have with it is, bro, that game doesn't look like better at all. It looks like it literally, I actually wouldn't be surprised if Galaxy 1 is the exact same version from the Switch. I actually would bet money it probably is. Those games don't look intrinsically better. They just look like, hey, look, it's Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, cleaned it up a little bit, and that's where we're at. I think the Mario Galaxy bundle is like my least favorite thing. It's something I just genuinely am like, I don't care for the price. I don't care for the way you presented it. I don't care for the way it looks. Nothing about that seemed exciting. And then the whole thing with Rosalina's book which would have been cool if then they were like, oh, but the new pages aren't in there. And I'm like, what the fuck? So now I'm just getting a book that doesn't even have the extra pages that I would have wanted, which I bet money is going to tie in with Mario Galaxy, the movie, because of course it would. So nothing about, the only thing I think I thought would look nice with the amiibo. And it's amiibo, so we'll see. I did see the game has 120 FPS modes on the website, so they look the same. They will play good. Okay, that's a decent. I'll take that. That's not a bad thing. That's a pretty good push. So I'm gonna leave that one alone for now. 100 FPS is a pretty strong sell, so that's fine. Then we have a new Mario Tennis game. As much as I want to be like, yeah, new game, it's also Mario Tennis, and I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think I care. I have a Mario Tennis game behind me that I have yet to take. I don't even think this thing's out of its packaging, is it? Do I even have it out of its packaging? I probably don't. Do I? No, that's not it. I may have taken it out of its packaging. But like I haven't even played the other one. So I'm not overly excited about Mario Tennis. And that's no disrespect to Mario Tennis. I know how I just don't care. I don't care. I think I was probably more excited for the Mario Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 edition than anything else. I think that is more exciting to me than Mario Tennis. Mario Tennis has its fans and people will care. Also, because with Mario Tennis, I can't tell if the game is supposed to look good or not, because the game actually visually reminded me way too much of Aces just off of its base look. So I was just like, I don't think I give a shit. Mario Brothers Wonder 2 Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I don't know if we know anything other than the fact that it's like the DLC. It looks like it's included with it. But obviously, we'll hear more as we go. As we dive deeper into it. Let's see. Yeah, it's just more of like it's essentially unofficially DLCs, but that one by itself, fine. I like the idea of giving Mario Wonder more love and push, so I'm fine with that. And then the thing I know that KG lost his mind with, and I think probably one of the better Mario related announcements, is hey, new Yoshi game. It's not really a Yoshi's Island game, but it's Rosalina will be a playable character in Wonder. Is this on the Nintendo website? Is that what I'm missing? Hold on. That might be what it is. Also, it'd be nice. That means realistically next year is probably going to be the year of Rosalina. I'm going to be real with you. Knowing how this is probably going to go, it's probably going to be the Rosalina is probably going to, it's going to be her year next year. If I had to take a shot in the dark. I wasn't really disappointed with it as much as I would just say, oh no, this is just videos. These are the headlines, but I want it like it doesn't really do what I wanted it to do. I mean, most people are going to be disappointed by the Direct, which is most of the time, but I personally enjoyed it. No, overall I think it's a good Direct, but it definitely in some ways doesn't really. I can see why people wouldn't. I can see why people said they didn't love it. Where the fuck is? I wish the Nintendo Switch 2 thing showed me more, but I get that, you know, it wasn't going to, but it is something I would have liked to see. Even that Rosalina amiibo doesn't come out until April of next year. Yeah. Like I said, next year will be the years of Rosalina. Between the movie and the games that feature her and her potentially showing up in some of these games as playable, yeah, next year is going to be the year of Rosalina. But I don't want to get too much hooked up on that. So where am I at? Okay, so Yoshi looks really nice. That art style looks absolutely phenomenal. Don't sleep on that. Now I'm not a Yoshi Island guy. I like it enough, but I wouldn't call myself like a huge mega fan because I don't want to put myself in that position. But I'm glad to see Yoshi fans are excited to see another Yoshi game because it has been a minute, so it's kind of overdue, especially with another title we're gonna get towards the later half of this direct. But as far as Yoshi in the Mysterious Book is concerned, looks really good. Visually looks really good. Gameplay, obviously, you have to wait to see more of it, but I'm excited. I don't know if that'll be bought day one. And then I think after that Yoshi game, we were in full direct swing. I'm going to probably skim over the things I don't particularly care about or I don't think are big enough to really discuss. So things like Storm Lancers, don't care about. Decum? Is that what it's called? Decum, don't care about. Papucom, don't really care for. Tomodachi Life getting confirmed for spring 2026. Good, because that was one of those games that people were looking forward to seeing. So nice to see a more that pretty much first half of 2026. Great. Pretty much anything that was confirmed for spring, first half of 2026. I enjoyed Tomodachi Life from when I played on the 3DS. It wasn't like the game for me, but it definitely was an enjoyable experience, and I very much liked it. I need to see more because it's hard to sell me on a game that I don't intrinsically play like that. Like Tomodachi Life is kind of a novelty and I think is more entertaining at a certain time than it is just all the time. So, but hey, first half of the year next year. So we're building up 2026 already, baby. Let's get it. The Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Then we got the Final Fantasy VII Intergrade release and trailer, which apparently it comes out in January. So another beginning half of 2026 game. The thing that's not in the direct that we found out later, which is a little weird, is that that it's already been confirmed by Square. We're getting Rebirth and we're getting the last game. So we're gonna have the entire Final Fantasy VII trilogy on Switch 2. I think it's just a little weird. Why wouldn't you also announce this in the same direct? You're gonna show it off anyway. I say this, but to be fair, Final Fantasy VII Remake was kind of thrown into like a bunch of other games. Like it wasn't like its own little thing, but it kind of could have been its own little thing. Because you know, I don't care about this game at all. Because I don't care about this version of Final Fantasy VII. I've played the correct version of Final Fantasy VII. Even though I don't care, I know that this game has value to people, and realistically, it would have made sense to announce, hey, by the way, you're also getting the other games. Kind of like what they did for Resident Evil, although I have my conversations and thoughts about that one. But that is something to be note of. So, yeah, I'm a little surprised they didn't announce that in the direct with this, that we're getting all three. We're going to have the entire remake trilogy on Switch 2. Yeah, Square Enix is doubling down because they talked about the trilogy being switched to current during a creator voice video. Yeah, so Square, and I already said it, if anyone goes back and look, Square has been incredibly supportive of Nintendo during the Switch era, and if anything, has pushed it even further into this era, because this isn't the only game we're going to be talking about from Square. But it is interesting to note that, hey, the entirety of the remake trilogy will be on Switch. But once again, we'll be talking about Square again later, so I won't dwell on it too much. Linked, Banner of the Spark, don't care. Hades 2, nice. So I believe it comes out later this month. Hades, I already know, is a phenomenal game, so the sequel coming is always nice to hear. And the fact that it'll have a physical and a digital version is also nice to hear. No, yeah, Final Fantasy VII has stopped being tied to PlayStation a little bit ago. I think once Square made that realization to themselves that, hey, we're not doing this exclusive to one console bullshit anymore, everything's on the table. Everything they make is now on the table for everybody. And the two companies that'll eat the most out of that situation will be Nintendo and Xbox players. Because we never had all that shit. So, hey. Also, like I said, Hades 2 coming. Nice. It's real nice, bro. We'll get to the Pokemon stuff a little bit later, Ryan. Because it's in the latter half of the Direct. So let's see. Next thing up. Another thing that wasn't in the actual Direct. It was announced today, but isn't in the Direct, which is the Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection. That's coming out on Switch, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Steam. Once again, Capcom's also another one that's been pretty supportive of Nintendo throughout the Switch generation. And to be fair, they were pretty around during like the 3DS era too. But nice, another Mega Man collection coming out. I think what threw me off was like, why isn't this in the Direct? Because you're going to announce it the same day anyway, and it is a Nintendo related thing, unless the information was just too quick. So it's in the that makes less sense. So it's in the Japanese Direct, but it's not in the American Direct. I wonder if that was just a time constraint. That might have been like a very last minute thing. Then we got Kirby Air Ride Amiibo. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't personally care. I imagine Kirby fans are losing their minds though. The Kirby fandom is going to lose their minds. We also finally got a release date for Age of Imprisonment for Hyrule Warriors, which comes out the same month as fucking Kirby. So essentially November and now has two games. We have Hyrule Warriors at the beginning of the year, and then we have Kirby Air Riders at the end of November. So pretty much pre-Thanksgiving, post-Thanksgiving. Damn. So, and the game looks good. I'm not in love with it because I'm not in love with like a lot of the characters I'm seeing, because the only characters I would be excited about playing with is like Zelda, Rauru, his wife, and what's her name? The one that's in Tears of the Kingdom 2, but she's dead. Is it no? I gotta go look it up. But essentially, there's only like 3 characters I'd be excited to play as. So, and then here comes one of the crazy Square announcements, because Square said, "Yo, bring that ass back here, boy." With Dragon Quest VII getting its remake, although I think they're calling it like a reimagining, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's called Reimagined, but technically it's a remake. What's up, Daryl? So Square was on the ball. I'm very curious why they chose 7 to remake, especially when everyone knows if you're going to remake a Dragon Quest game, the first one that comes to everybody's mind, it ain't 7. You got to count one more number. It would have been fucking 8. So I'm very surprised that of all the games to pick to do another remake, why the fuck did you pick 7 over 8? Oh, look at that. Yeah, and that's the other thing that's weird. We haven't heard shit about 12. 12 we know exists and we know it's coming. I don't know fine, sure. That's the first remake. It's still crazy to me, and still Nintendo will always get a level of hate, especially online, when I go, well, that's what else is coming out on Sony, because Ghost of Yotei, besides Ghost of Yotei, Nintendo is the most consistent with games. Absolutely, I agree with that. They are the most consistent with games. There's always been a bias against Nintendo because the Nintendo's being viewed as kiddie, even though it's not really justified anymore. That's what some people do. So they're like, oh, why would I get hyped for kid stuff? Look at all that cartoony shit. I'm not hyped for cartoony shit. I'm hyped for real shit because I'm a man, and I'm a real man, plays real games with guns and shit. Dragon Quest Remake character designs is awful. They definitely ditched Akira's design. I mean, unfortunately, when it came to Dragon Quest, that kind of was going to have to happen anyway, because, you know, the man is dead, or you could have just had Toritaro take a shot at it, which that was definitely an option. look at the 3DS version. I disagree there for the most part with the new remake. 12 is coming, but that's going to be the major mic drop announcement, especially on Switch 2. Of course, but you know, I still want to see it because I loved 11 so goddamn much. Didn't the creator of Dragon Quest leave Square Enix? I'm not personally sure, so I won't say anything directly. But it wouldn't surprise me. There's been a lot of shifting around in the industry. But needless to say, it's still a remake of a Dragon Quest title. Unfortunately, 7 falls into that same boat of you're not 8, so you're not going to get it as acknowledged. But it is still nice to see them acknowledge their other titles, because although 8 is probably the title people want the most, it shouldn't be the only Dragon Quest representation that gets acknowledged. And once again, hey, Square Enix, baby. Square Enix, baby. They on the ball. I mean, I can't be mad at them. They putting in work and they putting shit out. And then we get to one of the most ridiculousness of announcements. Hey, look, in addition to Nintendo Virtual Console, cool. Nintendo Online and expansion pack, cool. Virtual Boy, bro. What? Virtual Boy? Bro, when I tell you I'm flabbergasted, I'm 125,000% flabbergasted. Why in the world of all the things to do would you do that? I'm so blown away. What the fuck? Why Virtual Boy? And then had the nerve not only to have Virtual Boy, but to then have the nerve to be like, we're gonna sell an accessory that works with this game, which is essentially a recreation of the original Virtual Boy for $100, or the little cardboard version of it for like, I think it's what's that one for? Like, is it 20 something? It's like $20 or $30. And I'm just like, it's you know what's funny? It's probably one of the most Nintendo things to do is to be like, you know what? I think this console had some merit. Let's throw it back out to the public. Now here's the thing. On one hand, those games being preserved and being made available to the public is inherently a good thing. All right. It's good to see those games being properly acknowledged, because there are some good titles on the Virtual Boy, even if the console itself is a piece of shit. At the same time, what the fuck? It's such a weird decision, bro. It's just a really weird decision. It's not like, oh, the worst thing in the world. Oh, look how fucked up you are. It's just, why? What the fucking why? Just, huh? And the funny thing is, bet money, this thing will sell better now than it did when it came out in the 90s. And you're gonna sit there looking at it and go, it really shouldn't have, because what the fuck? What the fuck? Just what the fuck? Oh my Lord. I don't have words. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's part of the expansion pack, Daryl. I'm just like, what in the world are we doing? But hey, we're here. We're fucking here, I guess. So, alrighty then. Next thing back up is a remake for Fatal Frame 2. It's the most interesting system you could do. It's genuinely expensive and an interesting library that is literally the only older system I'll play on Switch Online. That's fair. But in other words, only old stuff is allowed to be preserved while new stuff is under dictatorship. Oh, Lord. Yeah, also remember this is for both Switch and Switch 2 and those VR headsets. True. So actually, if you still have Labo for your original Switch, you technically could just use that. So yeah. No, Pokemon is later. Pokemon's in the latter half of the race. I got to talk about Fatal Frame. So Fatal Frame is interesting because if I remember correctly, Fatal Frame 2, if I remember correctly, was was a game that came out like was old as sin. And I also don't think Fatal Frame's in a weird position because I don't think Nintendo has any money in Fatal Frame anymore, but somehow still is able to get Fatal Frame announcements. Now here's my thing. Fatal Frame is coming on other systems, but for whatever reason, it always seems to default into a Nintendo announcement, which I think is a little interesting for, unless they still have some money in it, they just don't have it like locked down, which I think realistically for Fatal Frame might be helpful. Yeah, from the Wii era. It's PlayStation 2 is what it is. Originally, anyway. That one is interesting. I probably will pick that one up because I've been meaning to get back into Fatal Frame after playing 5, and I think it's overdue. But it got a remake on the Wii that never came over here. This remake is based on that version. Oh, gotcha. That's what it is. That's absolutely what it is. Okay, cool. I had to make sure. So it's a remake from 2003, but this particular remake is based off of the Wii version that we never got, which makes way more sense. So we're gonna take a shot in the dark and experience that one because I've been kind of interested in trying out some more Fatal Frame because I love 5. Even though 5 is a janky fucking game, control wise, but I love it to death. I love it so much, and part of the reason why I loved it was because of the Wii U gamepad. That was like a good chunk of the reason why I liked it so much. So we will put our hands in that when we get a chance. That's all I'm gonna just say. And we gotta wait until next year for that. So another 2026 game. Then we got a bunch of games that got updates. Essentially the ones they pushed the most. And the only reason I'm gonna bring some of this up is because I own some of these games. They brought up One Piece Power Warriors. They brought up Overcooked 2, Stardew Valley, Human Fall Flat. I own Power Warriors 4 mainly because of Tyrone, if I remember correctly. So that's gonna be one of those. You know what? I might actually go through and play that game some more because I didn't really touch it too much at the time. So that might get picked up. I might be in that light. Koei Tecmo is actually in this direct. Also, is another one that's in this direct a lot. Koei Tecmo for some reason is just sneaking around in some shit because we're gonna bring them up again too, and it's gonna be like, you got yourself involved in some shit. Interesting enough. Then we had Power Wash Simulator 2 and Suika, and I like nothing against those games, just they're not really something I'm overly excited about. So yeah, of course One Piece content, Orion. I'm a weak man, leave me alone. And then we finally get something that fans have been clamoring for so long. We got the release date for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It comes out December 4th, which means it's getting into the Xenoblade treatment where it comes out at the very end of the year. The very end of the year, it's the last major Nintendo release, comes out December 4th. God damn. It also has one of the weirder trailers for a game that's announcing its launch date and had some relative hype behind it. It's literally a, hey guys, you can drive in this game trailer, which by the way isn't a terrible thing, but it's also like it's actually underplayed. I think that's the one thing that fucked me up. Metroid Prime 4, this is probably the most underplayed trailer it's gotten. And it's the trailer that announces its release date. I'm just like, okay, I guess. But it looks good. It looks good. We're excited. So yeah. We did have Inazuma. That's nice. So Metroid Prime, baby, at the end of the year. So I think now we go into. I have another page. I have another 2 pages of content. That's not it. I think this is where we start getting into some of the more Nintendo focused stuff. So first thing, DLC for Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is a phenomenal game. Don't get it twisted, bro. Don't get it twisted. I'm a little interested to see what how much the DLC is because I didn't see. Did they even mention the price? Actually, you know what? It should be on my Switch too. It's almost like my Switch 2 isn't sitting right the fuck here. The fuck am I doing? Hold on. I just want to check something real quick because I'm like, wait a minute. Do we have a price for the DLC for Donkey Kong? Because I'm very curious. Oh yeah, but see, I'm not a big Metroid. I've never been a Metroid Prime guy, so I don't have the same. It's $20. That's gonna be a hard me waiting to see how people feel about it. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because I need to see what it is. I'm gonna wait until people play around with it and then I get general impressions. Because although I like Bonanza a lot, don't get it twisted. I don't know if I want to spend $20 more on a game that's already $70 and not like and be able to really sink my teeth into it. So that one's gonna hang in the background for now until I see more. I am gonna download that demo though. I am gonna download the demo for P3 Reload. Don't ask me why I'm downloading the demo for P3 Reload. Just mind your fucking business. That's what I'm gonna do. They already played it? Damn, it must have been short as hell. If they already played it. So the Persona 3 Reload demo is gonna be downloaded. Do I need to download it? No, absolutely not. I'm going to though, because I'm a dirty whore. Anywho, so we have the DLC. It looked cool. I don't know if it looked $20 cool. And DLC is another thing we gotta talk about. Yeah, it does sound like a roguelike thing. That's the vibe I got from it. We're going to scroll up and see what the next game. And now we get to the Pokemon stuff because what the fuck? So Pokemon Pokopia was revealed for the Nintendo Switch 2. I will say this was probably the most left field ass experience I'd ever seen in my life. What the fuck? I think the Ditto thing fucks me up because it's obviously referencing the anime. The whole Ditto copying humans but has a Ditto face, that's an anime reference. It's funny that Ditto's anime reference has bled this deep into the series outside of the anime. This is essentially what I like to call Pokemon Minecraft kinda sorta, which is also partially developed by fucking Koei Tecmo, which I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So we're getting essentially a pseudo Minecraft game with a Pokemon flourish to it, which doesn't look bad. Don't get it twisted. It doesn't look bad at all. I want that to be stated. It doesn't look bad. It's just different, but similar, but weird. And when I look at it, I'm just kind of like, huh. I should have more to say, but I don't. Because like, oh, is it cool that Ditto can copy the moves of the Pokemon it meets in the garden as it expands the garden and it makes your area bigger? That's cool as fuck to me. At the same time, it's Ditto pretending to be a weird human girl-ish character that looks like you can customize to a degree. And I'm just kind of like, what? Like, what? It's something. It's a hell. I don't have words because it was just so different. It just threw me off. But hey, I'm not mad at it. It's something different, and it's definitely a Pokemon experience. So we'll let it rock. And then obviously we got ZA stuff. There's a decent amount of stuff we need to talk about with ZA because ZA just said, I'm going to show you a bunch of shit. So first off, we have new megas for our Kalos starters, and I know people probably have their opinions. But I'm going to look real quick just to refresh myself on the megas because I don't just so I have them. There we go, Mega Evolution screen. So we have Mega Chestnut, Mega Delphox, and Mega Greninja. Fun fact, none of these characters have changed types. Like, at all. They're all still the same type. So, actually, I don't think any of the new Megas have really changed type at all, actually. No, they haven't. All the Megas we've gotten this so far have the same type they had originally. So Victory Bell, Dragonite, Hawlucha, they're all rocking the same type. And since there is no abilities in this game, we don't know what's really different. But yeah, they all have the same type, so it's interesting. So design-wise, I think Mega Delphox is probably my favorite. I do like Mega Greninja. I actually don't think any of the Megas look bad. I think Chestnut has probably the coolest glow-up. Don't get it twisted, though. I think Mega Chestnut looks hard as fuck. The cool, like, shield visor. Man, if that doesn't come down when he's fighting, I'm going to be mad as fuck because I like the visor. I just like the visor. He's like, it looks like it just drops on his face. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool, bro. So yeah, they all look good. Don't ever get it twisted. They all look good, but my favorite's probably still Delphox's. I think Mega Delphox is exactly what I wanted, which is a Delphox that looks more witchish, looks more like a witch versus Braixen. Because my biggest problem with Delphox is that it's overly subdued compared to Braixen. Braixen went from like a little fox to this cutesy little witch. And then we went from a witch, like a cutesy little witch, to a mage. And the mage felt toned down as a result. This is how you do a mage that also combines the witch elements. So I'm 100% down for my Delphox. My Delphox got it. You're right. She is missing a hat though, but it's all good. But Chestnut looks hard as fuck, and I think I like Greninja. But I do like the joke y'all did where y'all like the Virgin Mega Greninja versus the Chad Satoshi Kikoga. I don't know why that fucked me up. The Japanese name is the Chad name. That's funny as fuck. So there's that. And then we also have 2 Mega Evolutions for Raichu, which, with all this talk about Pikachu, giving Raichu some more love is definitely warranted. So I'm going to be real with you. I'm kind of conflicted on how I feel about the Raichu designs. So, especially when you realize that, like, the Raichu designs also fall into that X and Y motif, which now makes me look at Mega Dragonite as a Y motif Pokemon again. And I'm just like, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So, yeah, Mega Dragonite now feels recontextualized just off of that. If you're asking me which version of Raichu I prefer of the 2 of them, it's probably X. I think X looks cooler. Y looks okay, but Y reminds me a little bit too close to Pikachu, and I don't like that. They're both Pikachu variants to me, even though they're supposed to be based off of Raichu, because Raichu X is essentially Pikachu's actual color, but you can tell it's Raichu's design. Whereas Mega Raichu Y looks like Pikachu's designed with Raichu's color. It's a very weird, like, if that makes sense. It's kind of like you just swapped the colors for them and then gave them slightly different elements. So if you were to change Mega Raichu Y's ears to Pikachu ears, you'd be like, oh, that's fucking Pikachu. Because it is. It's Pikachu with Raichu's colors, but that might have been the whole point. He went crazy. You mean like in terms of excitement? I think X is probably the coolest one. To me, X is the cooler one. I hope it's shiny, gives it Raichu colors, because I absolutely will shiny hunt the fuck out of it. If I can get Mega Raichu X shiny and it has Raichu colors, bro, it's fucking over. It's over, bro. It's Jover, bro. I know people will be up in arms about the paid DLC before release. Reminds me of the Breath of the Wild's expansion pass. They shouldn't have announced it now, but it is what it is. I mean, it'll mean nothing later. So I guess we should talk about the DLC that we know nothing about, which is, especially because the fact that the Raichu Megas are tied to the DLC is kind of a thing in itself. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not in love with the DLC announcement either. It's one of those, bro. Pokemon's in a weird spot right now with a lot of fans. Maybe you don't want to announce the DLC. Secondly, I'm not getting it at launch. I'm not getting the DLC at launch anyway. The DLC will be one of those things. I wait, I look, and go, hey, we're gonna get it. The problem I think a lot of Pokemon fans don't like to acknowledge is that they're a part of the problem because they just buy shit because it's convenient to just go ahead and buy shit. You ain't gotta buy DLC as soon as it gets announced. But they're going to do it anyway. But do I agree that it was a stupid fucking move? Agreed, absolutely. You should not have announced DLC before the game release. Because now it feels like you're withholding content and breaking it apart of the main game. Because it's like, why is it DLC? Now, if the DLC doesn't come out for like 6 months, 3 to 6 months, I'm a little bit more forgiving. More likely, it's probably going to come out in 3. It should come out in 3 months or so. Because I know if it goes any further than 3 months, when Generation 10 gets announced, it's going to get swept under the rug anyway. But yeah, I agree. I really hope that's true, actually. If X is the physical attacker, I'd be so excited. Pokemon fans are weird to me. They complain about everything. People are acting like the game is $90 just because don't buy the DLC. What the fuck? I think people's issue is that it was announced because now the implication is that Game Freak had the DLC finished and chose to make it DLC instead of just putting in the main game. The problem with DLC is when you make DLC before the game is announced, the first question people bring up is, why isn't that just a part of the main game? And your answer's got to be, well, because I want to sell it. And then that's what makes you look scummy as a company. So I get why people are annoyed. I think it's okay and justified to be annoyed. I'm just not going to buy it. Pokemon hasn't gotten full money amounts for me in a hot minute anyway. I didn't buy any remakes. I didn't buy BDSP. I didn't buy Let's Go. I didn't even buy the DLC for Scarlet and Violet. I've already been on this thing where I'm putting my money where my mouth is. If I don't want to support lazy or shitty practices, I'm not just buying a game straight out. There are certain titles that I'll get day one. There are other titles I won't. Same thing goes for DLC. I'll buy DLC immediately if it's something I really like. If I don't like it, I don't care. By the time the game goes gold, it ain't going to be a part of the game for the first print. I mean, my point is that it feels scummy because now we won't know. The vibe is that it was made and finished before the game came out, so people's default reaction is, why isn't that just in the fucking game? And I can see why people feel that way because of how quickly you announced it. You should have waited. But that's just me though. So let's move on. I think that's all the Pokemon announcements, if I remember correctly. Is it all the Pokemon announcements? Wait, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, it is. All right, so then we got Danganronpa 2x2 for the Switch 2 and Switch, which, giving a niche game like Danganronpa more eyes on it's always good. Plus, this is also coming out for other consoles because I think it's also coming out on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Then here comes Koei Tecmo again with Dynasty Warrior Origins, which is another game that is another Dynasty Warriors title, but it is in the more Koei Tecmo. But it's Dynasty Warriors, so there's not a lot to say about it. But yeah, cool. Glad to see Koei Tecmo. Then obviously talking about Monster Hunter Stories 3, but giving a release date, and they just put it at March 13th, which I think is a good timing for it. So, woo! And then we talk about our boy Capcom. Capcom said, yo, let me holla at y'all for a second. We got something to talk about, especially considering in Monster Hunter Stories, right after it, you talk about Resident Evil 9. So not only did they confirm that 9 is indeed coming to Switch 2, but we're getting 7, 8, and 9 as normal fucking versions, not this dumbass cloud shit. Because if anyone remembers, 7 and I think 8 do tend to, no, I know 7 for a fact exists on Switch as a cloud version. And guess what? We don't like cloud versions. But that's just me. The other cool thing is that Requiem is a day and date release with the other versions. So not only did Capcom give us the 2 other games that fit in that, you know, the remake trilogy or the reboot trilogy, but we also are getting them day and date. And it's like, all right, Capcom, talk your shit. Talk your shit. All right, you got it. You got it, Capcom. You got it. So I'm not mad at them. They did what they were supposed to do. Now, for me personally, I'm going to be honest with you. I've said this before. I'm not a big fan of first-person titles. That's just how I am as a person. I've never cared for first-person games. Give me third-person all fucking day. And so what that means to me is this. It means the game I would have really lost my shit for, and the one I really would have been excited about, is give me the remakes. I don't even need 3 and 4. I'm gonna be real with you. Give me 2 remake on the Switch 2. That's all I needed, bro. That's all I needed. I have every excuse in the world to rebuy that game for the 3rd time and play it. 3rd, yes, because I own it on Steam. I own it on PlayStation. And yes, I have no problem buying it again on Switch 2 because I think RE2 Remake is borderline perfect, bro. But I'm very happy to see that Capcom said, fuck this shit. We getting in the bag with this one. Here's all 3 games so you get the full context and story of the game and situation. And then also, it's day and date with the fucking other version releases. I have no problems. Capcom is not on. Capcom and Square, I think officially, for me at least, have to come off the shit list. They really were only on the shit list because of their crazy fuck ups during like the PS5 backwards to PS4 era bullshit. But in the Switch era, they have gotten their shit together. Capcom, all I need you to do is announce DMC 4 and 5 on Switch 2 and we will be Gucci. That's all y'all gotta do, because it's weird that Devil May Cry has 1 through 3 on it. The reboot I get, that's technically not you, that's Ninja Theory, but whatever. But give me 4 and 5. I need DMC 4 and 5 on my Switch 2. That's what I need. That's what I need from you, buddy. Come on, big buddy. I know you, realistically, you should have put the reboot and DMC 4 on Switch already, because why the fuck not? 5 is the only one you could have arguably been like, I don't know if we can run it. But you absolutely, I need to see all of DMC on Switch. No, Resident Evil 2 Remake is my favorite. Say what you want, Daryl, but Resident Evil 2 Remake is my favorite. It's really nice to see Capcom and Square support Nintendo so much, but they already did that. So I want to see this from other companies. Agree, other companies definitely. But I know we've been having issues with dev kits, and some people don't have the means to get a dev kit. So part of that's on Nintendo. That's not really their fault. It's because I heard some companies just didn't get dev kits, and they're still struggling to get dev kits. So that's been part of the problem. But yeah, Capcom, good. You gotta Square and Capcom. You gotta give it up for them, bro. You got to. You motherfucking got to. And then I believe they did like a sizzle reel, but the last thing of note is a new Fire Emblem. A new Fire Emblem, ladies and gentlemen. I was talking about this before. Fire Emblem is usually a game series that as of recently has become every like 3 to 4 years. And I believe next year would make for 3 years, because 2023 is when we got engaged. So 2026 getting Fortune's Weave will be interesting. It's also interesting to note that this game is definitely supposed to take place in the same universe as Three Houses, which I'm not in love with the Three Houses tie-in. I'm gonna be real with you. I know Three Houses gets a lot of love, and I'm not even saying it's trash or anything. I'm not excited about the art style because it very much looks like it's taking more from Three Houses than it is from any other game. And then on top of that, it definitely being a part of Three Houses' lore doesn't make me insanely excited about it. But I am a Fire Emblem fan, and it looks like an original story with new characters and a new setting and a new kind of world. So I'm not going to immediately be like, oh God. But I don't think it's a fucking prequel. That's insane. It's definitely going to be, it's a sequel. Sophis looking older should have been your one hint off rip, unless they're implying that Sophis looks, was stronger when she was younger and then she got older and lost her powers or some shit. I play FE2 over Three Houses any day. Yeah, for me personally, it looks like an original story, so I'm willing to give it a chance. That's how I feel about it. I am willing to give it a chance, but personally, I'm not in love that it takes a lot from Three Houses. But new Fire Emblem, I like my tactics games, and I've been pretty consistent about playing every new Fire Emblem we've gotten. So it will be played and it will be bought. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So that is everything in the Fire Emblem Direct. I mean, yeah, wow, that's crazy. That's everything in the Nintendo Direct that we got. In terms of major announcements, barring a couple of exceptions of things I may have left out, for the most part, that is about everything that was majorly known. You gotta have that Fujoshi artist back on it. Ugh, you're terrible, bro. Well, like I said, from what we know and from what we got and from what we experienced, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, please give me your ratings of this Nintendo Direct. I want to hear from you first before I go really into my thoughts of how I feel about the Direct as a whole. How do you guys feel about the Direct? Give me your ratings. Is it A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, F tier, fuck 'em tier? How do y'all feel about the Direct, y'all? How y'all feeling? What's the rating? We gotta talk about it. I gotta know. I got to know how you feeling. How y'all feeling? 'Cause I'm curious. I'm curious. I'm curious. No, it definitely looks like ancient Rome. But yeah, how y'all feeling about the Direct overall as a total? I think where I'm landing while you guys are talking, while you guys are typing, I'll mention mine or listening to the lag, because I know there's a lag in between when I say something and you hear it. B, I think it's good but kind of long, but some games I just don't care about. I wanted more stuff from big third parties. And maybe one or two more Nintendo games like Star Fox and 3D Mario. I imagine we won't get more major Nintendo announcements until probably we'll probably get one more Direct before the year's over. And it'll probably be on, what will we get it? We'll probably get it in December. I think we'll get one more Direct. It'll either be in December or early January. So this is probably the last major Direct for at least another 3 months or so. Then I see S tier. I am overwhelmed with a lot of the games and not enough time. How's everyone else feeling? I got an S tier and I got a B tier. I think Donnie said C- for the thing. Antrite says I give it a B. I enjoyed it a lot. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Donnie gave it a C-, or at least the American one. I think he gave the Japanese one more. Omar says 7 out of 10. I would have put an 8, but that Virtual Boy knocked it down a point. I can't knock it. It's just weird. That's how I feel about it. It's weird, but I can't knock it. It's more content for a service with no extra cost. I can't knock it. It would get a knock if you charge me more money for Virtual Boy. Then it would get a knock. But the fact that it's literally just, hey, more content, and if you have a Switch 1 and have that VR thing, you can just use it immediately. Yeah, for me personally, I can't knock it for that. So I can't hold it against it. Yep, you're gonna have all 7 games in one collection now, of course. Yeah, I say C- for the English and B for the Japanese because at least Star Force Collection was shown. True. So I agree that there's a couple of games that should have been shown that we get announcements for today anyway. But as an overall directing experience, I think from what we got, especially considering how strong of a showing Square and Capcom had, it's got to get a B for me. It's probably going to hang in a B. I don't think it has anything that makes me lose my mind and scream out in the world, but it absolutely justified its existence and has people excited for something. There's something in here you got to fuck with at least. There's probably at least one thing. It might be an A from Mario segment from Miyamoto. Great looking new games from Nintendo like Mario Tennis, Yoshi, Fire Emblem. Already 6 games for 2026 for Nintendo. No, it's definitely a strong showing. I think because the games that are shown are like B tier games. Yoshi, Fire Emblem, Mario Tennis are not like aren't the games where people are like, oh my god. It's not like a mainline Mario. It's not like a mainline Zelda. It's not like a mainline Pokemon. So it's I think for me it's hanging in the B tier. Originally I was gonna say B minus. I think for me personally, it's hanging just straight B. I won't say B plus and I won't say A minus. I'll just say B. It is a B direct. To me, giving it anything lower than a B objectively, not personally, but objectively, I think it's a little unfair to it. But that's just me personally. I think it's definitely it's above average. I'll give it a C. I wish they'd do more with the 40th anniversary, but other than that, it's okay. I don't know if I knock it down to a C for that, but everyone has their own taste, so I won't dig too far into it. The point is, for me, yeah, I think for me personally, it's got to rock. I think it's going to rock a B for me. I like it a lot. I just don't, yeah. No, I don't think we'll get a new Mario game because the team that will work on Mario is working on Donkey Kong. Or probably just finished working on the DLC for Donkey Kong. So I can't say, yeah, I was expecting a Mario because you just finished DK. So I wouldn't expect you to already have a Mario ready. Plus, it's nice to see them rotate between using one or the other. You don't want to just only do one thing. So I'm not mad at them for picking Donkey Kong. Although we will probably get a 3D Mario in the next 2 or 3 years, so everybody look out for that. I think the rule now with Nintendo is you get one really strong year, then you get one year, and then you go back to getting really, really strong year. And I think what we're in right now is the strong year going into a year, and then ending it out with an amazing year. So we'll see. There are still games that need to be shown off and playing and maybe potentially announced. So we have time. Oh, my neck. Oh, I shook my head too much. Oh. Anywho. Yeah, for me, I'm pretty happy for what I got. I'm also probably going to try that Persona 3 demo. Not that I need to or that I plan to buy the game, but yeah. We already got OT games in 2036. What the fuck are the other console guys doing? And we want to constantly hate Nintendo, bruh. Listen. Nintendo hate is complicated. It's stupid, but it's complicated. But I don't want to get too much into that conversation because it'll bleed into a video I'm working on. So I don't want to get too much into that conversation. I think I mainly wanted to get on here and just talk to you guys and to just kind of go over the direct and share my thoughts and opinions on it, because I overall think it's a pretty good direct. It's not an amazing direct, but it's a good direct. It has a good variety of titles, some what the fuck moments, some new games, some announced release dates. As an overall experience, it can't not get a B from me. Honestly, I think the B is the lowest it could have got. It was a B or B minus. Giving it like a straight out C seems unfair to me, but it's up to the individual, obviously. Xbox doesn't have games. PlayStation has 5 games. Oh no! See, Antry, you trying to get me to talk out of character? Listen to me. Listen. There are things and words I want to discuss, but I can't because it's gonna ruin videos. Mario Tennis, Yoshi, Fire Emblem, Splatoon Raiders, Tomodachi Life, Rhythm Heaven, Pokemon, Pokio. Like the first half of 2026 is definitely not to me. It's in the context that it's not like major players. What I mean by that is, instead of Mario Tennis, you would think of mainline Mario. Yoshi, fine. Fire Emblem, fine. But those aren't games that sell like 50 million copies. Fire Emblem's good year is usually like... Fire Emblem's best success is like 3 mil. And Yoshi does okay. Splatoon Raiders is a spinoff. Tomodachi Life and Rhythm Heaven is not as popular as I think people try to make it out to be. It's a good game. And then Pokemon Pokio is literally a spinoff. There's a lot of spinoffs or like side game material here. I don't mean in terms of the quality of the game, more in terms of the recognizability and quality of the IP. Most of these IPs are either mid-tier IPs or IPs that don't have enough feet on the ground yet. So, yeah. That's just how I feel about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Tony has Ghost of Yote and shit else is on Xbox Workshop. Entry is on the ball, bro. He's like, fuck them all, bro. Why can't they be like the big NGZ, yo? Like, Entry's in his feelings. He's like, man, oh, I need y'all to put out your own Mario, bro. You had Crash. You could have made him a baby. What? You could have made him a star. You ruined it. You ruined it. I'm gonna stop. I'm wilding, y'all. I'm wilding. But with that being said, I think I've said everything I really wanted to say. Because like I said, if I talk anymore, I'm going to ruin the video I was working on. So I don't want to get too deep into the conversation about the other parties. Plus, considering this whole video is called Let's Talk About the Nintendo Direct, I don't want this to like fall too far away from that original topic. So I think I'm going to end it here. I just wanted to come on and give you the content you deserve, because I need y'all to know something, bro. It's been a long week. My feet hurt. I'm tired. I want to lay down. I lost money that I didn't even spend, but I lost it, okay? It's been rough this week. Not impossible, not unforgiving, not brutal. It's just been kind of rough, okay? So as a response or retort, I want to go chill out. So I'm going to go chill out and just know we'll be doing the end of probably the plot portion of Coliseum tomorrow night. So look forward to that. Also, I have Spanish Duolingo on my phone that I haven't done yet. So I think I'm going to get to that. I think I'm going to get that done. I think this is super important. But leave your thoughts and your comments in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support. Yeah, I hit the light. That's not good. But yeah, thank you all for the support. Thank you all for the likes and comments. I very much appreciate it. But now I'm gonna go do Spanish because I think it's important. Yeah, I was like, Duolingo's been hitting me up talking about it's now or never. It literally is like it's now or never. So I'm gonna get out of here. But with that being said, life's a game, play to win, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for more Coliseum. Peace. Oh, Nintendo. Let's fucking go! I probably peeked the mic.